Hello, family. God bless you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here. I hope your Friday is okay. God bless you, family. Welcome to our International Church of Wisdom. My name is Pastor Anna Sweet, and I'm a follower of Jesus, Jesus of Nazareth. And I am checking to see that everybody is here. We have Instagram, Periscope, Facebook is here. Welcome, family. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Pastor Anna Sweet. I'm the resident pastor of the Wisdom Center. Our goal here is to build families that cannot be destroyed, and we are grateful to be here. And Dr. Murdoch will be speaking to us in about 10 minutes. So be ready. Dr. Murdoch will be speaking to us, family, in just a few minutes. So let's be prepared to listen, to learn. I am excited for this topic that he has given to us in the art of receiving. And let me tell you this, even if, I don't know what the topic will be, but even if that was not the topic, that is the topic you will always be hearing in every message. Because today you are receiving from the Lord. You are receiving a different point of view. You are receiving new insight. You are receiving deeper knowledge. You are having information that you have never received before. So family, today it's a day to receive. Welcome. I'm glad I can see the countries. Australia is here. We have India. God bless you, Miss Julie. Thank you, family. Please let us know the countries and help us share. The Dr. Murdoch will be speaking to us in just a few minutes. And I am sure it's going to be a great time together in the Lord. And I want to say thank you for keeping him in your prayers. Those of you that don't know, he just went through a open heart triple bypass surgery. And I'm sending you the title, Miss Sophie. 1 second, family. Oh, I love this title. You want to hear it, family? Yes. I'll just wait for you to see it on the screen. I'll make it a surprise. It's gonna get good. I'm excited about today's title. Yay. Welcome, Australia, India. Let us know who else is here. I'm excited about today's title, but I'm gonna wait until you see it there on the screen, and I'll read it to Instagram when I see it on the screen. Dr. Murdoch will be speaking to us in just a few minutes. He went through an open heart surgery, triple bypass, on November the 21st, and he has been recovering from surgery. South Africa, welcome. And I am telling you, we are all so grateful for your love, for your support, for sowing consistently. Very grateful for all of you that are here every day on 12, at 6. Oh, the suspense, says Miss Julie. Australia, India, Nigeria. I'm so glad you are here. Yay. Welcome, family. I am so, yes. Here comes the title, family. Yay. Getting along with others. That's today's teaching. Getting along with others. I know everybody watching, no matter the country, no matter the place you're in, no matter your age, we all need this desperately. So I'm glad that we get to have this teaching with Dr. Murdoch today. So let me acknowledge the countries so that when Dr. Murdoch is here, we can let him know. Australia, South Africa, Nigeria, India. Let us know which country you're watching from so we can acknowledge you and let Dr. Murdoch know you're here. It means the world to us that through this very difficult season of Dr. Murdoch's life, you are a part. And that in the time, the hardest time of his life, you are here. I cannot say that enough today, because we believe in the wisdom of God. We believe that there's no institution on earth that can solve your problems or increase your life or guarantee peace in your life like the wisdom of God. There's no protection like the wisdom of God. There is no rescue like the wisdom of God. So whether you go to school and even the greatest college, you are here twice a day because you are hungry for the wisdom of God. That says everything. You are sending that message to the Lord. And the Bible says the hungry will be filled. Blessed are the hungry, for they will be filled. Welcome, Francis here. Pastor Ken Loring, welcome. Thank you. I'm so glad you are here. And let us know, please, any other country that is here so we can acknowledge you. I am very thankful for Dr. Murdoch's ministry. I don't know any other ministry that does what he does. I've never heard anybody teach the way he teaches. And he's the one person that I understand. Greece is here. Yay. Thank you for letting us know. Welcome, family. Everybody joining us. Dr. Murdoch will be speaking to us in just a couple minutes on the topic of getting along with others. Pastor Ken, do you think you know people that need this message? Japan is here. Oh, I need this message. So, oh no. Yay. Mr. Ticha is here from Japan. Welcome. And please don't forget all of your beautiful comments, your encouraging words to Dr. Murdoch. As soon as I see a moment to read them to him, I will. And you don't have to wait until Dr. Murdoch asks for comments to type them, because there is a little delay. You type them and I receive them a little bit later. So it's better if you want to send them throughout the teaching. And we're paying attention to your comments, and as I can, I'll be sharing them with Dr. Murdoch. Pastor Ken, you and your wonderful wife, I can tell you're extremely easy to get along with, so I don't know about that. Okay, family. I'm calling Dr. Murdoch. I hope you have your shout on. I hope you have your Bible and your iPad taking notes. If there's another country watching, please let us know. Thank you, Miss Mickey. You always encourage me. Australia, France, Greece, India, Japan, Nigeria, South Africa is here. If there's any other country, please let us know. I'm calling Dr. Murdoch now. We're just getting everything ready. And I am excited for what God has for you and me today. All righty, family. Let's call Dr. Murdoch now. Ghana is here.
Australia.
Hello, Dr. Murdoch. We are here. Your love circle is here from around the world. We have Australia, France, Greece, India, Japan, Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana.
Wow. Hello, family. Good to be with y'all today. I'm thankful I can. Thankful I can. What's on my mind today is getting along with people. And I just give you some thoughts. Uh, First, the importance of it is all your joy from you're not going to accomplish any goals, any dreams in your life until you master uh, getting along with people. I don't like that phrase that much. It's the only one I know for getting along with people around you on the job, get along with people in your home. Even if you go into a store, getting along with the people that's helping you get your car fixed, a mechanic. It's really a master focus of your life. It really is. Because if you don't get along with people, don't know how, there's basics I want to talk to you today about. Because there's just people who can get along with everybody. There's people who seem to get along with nobody. And there's people who don't want to get along with you. They've got something, they want to rule you. They want to change you. They want to show you they're greater than you, that you're a nobody. But there's 1,000 kinds of people. And every one of them have a different agenda, a different temperament, a different goal, a different mood. Getting along with people is maybe the hardest thing on earth because it requires constant adjustment. You can't even hardly be who you are with some people. You can't even be real with some people. They take it and go another way. Getting along with people almost necessitates you becoming many different people. And that is against all your desire to be real and genuine and things you want to say to some people you can't if you're going to get along. Yes. Getting along with people requires so much discipline, flexibility, adaptation. It actually, getting along with people requires, it's almost impossible to be authentic. Wow. And get along with everybody. It's almost impossible. Because to get along with some people, you have to act like your agreement when you're in total disagreement with it. But it's probably easily one of the top three things on the earth, being one, God. Getting along with God is really easy because He knows you and He embraces your authenticity. People don't. Very few people want you to be the real you. They want you to be what they're needing for the moment. And you must anticipate what people are wanting from you, what they need from you. And so I'm going to give you some of my thoughts. I've almost left the ministry because of how hard it is to get along with people. Even having a staff is hell on earth sometimes because they can't seem to get along with each other. One wants this, one said this. Well, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. But you didn't tell me this. I mean, it is almost to have to look at your world like a circus, and which cage does that animal go into? Some people can be a canary, allowed to fly anywhere. Some people are crocodile, and some people are monkeys, just to be looked at and observed and smile. Getting along with people is the greatest, most difficult thing on the earth. It's the most difficult thing on the earth. And it started with the first two boys, Cain killing Abel. So it's Jesus himself couldn't get along with everybody. And he was perfect. He was perfect. And he had Sadducees and Pharisees, and then if he decided to go to the home of a tax collector, he'd get criticized. If he forgave a woman, he stopped a woman from being killed with stones, he got criticized. He couldn't do almost anything right, and he was perfect. Everything Jesus did was perfect, and he couldn't get along with everybody. God, there was not even a devil, and Jesus couldn't get along with Lucifer. God could not get along with Lucifer in his own heaven because Lucifer wanted his authority, his place. And you're going to have to accept some things. First, you will not be able to get along with everybody. You're just going to have to accept that. And your goal in that scenario is to try to diminish their influence, withdraw from their presence, deny proximity. And I want to share with you some Barry's thoughts. Miscommunication is probably the number one problem on getting along with people. They'll tell you part of something, but they'll tell you the whole truth. They tell you the part they want you to know about, or they tell you the part they think is the only thing that's important. And I'm just going to give you various thoughts. I don't have an outline for this. I just get so sick and tired of having to jump through hoops. And by that I mean just constantly jumping from one side to the other, to one side to the other, to the other side to the other, to get along with people. First, the importance of trying to get along with people. I'm just going to tell you a lot of different thoughts, okay?
Yes, sir.
First, know the value that if you can get along with people, it's the Jesus way to try. He said, blessed are the peacemakers.
Yes.
They shall be called the children of God. So the first thing you want to do is keep yourself right. Am I okay? Am I right? Is my spirit right? Is my heart right? And so I have a hard time getting along with so-and-so, and they tell them what to do. Are they your manager? Well, yeah. Well, jackass. Are you an idiot? That's your manager. That's your manager.
Yes.
They're in charge. They're over your salary. They're involved. Of course, they have a right to give you some jobs to do.
Yes.
Well, that's the first thing, get along with somebody. Try to want to.
Yes.
Want to get along with me. Well, I can't get along because of so. Okay, let's find out why. You didn't want to do the job they asked you. Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Go find another job where everything will be perfect for you. You will have to adapt. You will have to submit. You will have to, in my mother's words, eat crow, which simply means you'll have to be humble when you don't feel like it.
Yes.
But the main consciousness today that I want to talk to you about is just getting along with people. And that's have a desire to. Have a desire for peace.
Yes.
Have a desire for peace. What stops that? Well, if you have a desire to rule over everybody, that changes the whole equation.
Yes.
If you have a desire for recognition and you're not getting it, that will change the equation.
Yes.
If you feel neglected, if they feel neglected, if they feel ignored, this subject is a never-ending subject. And we start everything with the familiar words of Jesus that I've said 37,000 times. Do unto others as you would men would do to you. Talk to those people as you wish somebody would talk to you. Getting along with people. Here are some basic thoughts. What is their position? If they're your boss, that changes everything. If they're your mother and daddy, that changes everything.
Yes.
You are commanded to submit. You're commanded, even a woman is commanded to submit to her husband. That's a command. That's a command. You ain't got a choice. You ain't got a choice. Would I want to be a woman? Not in 10,000 years. I couldn't handle that. But those are scriptural teachings. I didn't like submitting to mother and daddy. Children, obey your parents. Oh, okay. So in getting along with people, you start off with the scriptural position. Who's in authority? Who's established authority? Is there someone trying to take authority? Is there someone ignoring authority? Is there someone jealous of authority? Like Absalom. And you would think Lot, who was financed by his uncle Abraham, you would think that he would have taught his staff to the peacemaking principles of his uncle.
Wow.
But they were two different people.
Yes.
Because he couldn't get along, God disconnected Abraham from Lot's contentious staff.
Wow.
The Bible said if you remove a talebearer, the strife ceases.
Yes.
The Bible also says where there's strife, there's every evil work.
Yes.
If you don't learn to get along with people, and there's people that you have to identify. There's people I personally could get along with well, but they couldn't get along with anyone that I got along with. They couldn't get along with each other. Put them in every department. They can't get along. There's people I have on my staff that have never given me a problem in years, and there's others that will start problems the first day. Let's get along with people. First, you got to have someone that wants to get along. There's people that don't. And you got to accept that. There's people that do not have any intentions of adapting to you, listening to you, putting a value on you. I saw it yesterday. One of my people in the doctor's office. There's a lady there that has a passion to be the Hitler of America. She's a nurse. You'd be scared to death to get a shot from her. She won't know if she'll kill you or make you an imbecile. And she ignored one of my staff because this person on my staff talks very gentle, very gracious, very kind, was in the top 10%, not 10%, top 10 students in universities. She's smart, she's brilliant, but she's incredibly gentle. She's never lifted her voice. I've never heard her interrupt. She's worked for me for years. I've never heard her interrupt a single person in my life talking. She's gracious. She's kind. She never raises her voice. And this nurse just tried to run all over her. She was trying to explain something to my nurse, and the nurse was just a jackass. Y'all pardon me for saying that word today, but I am sick and tired of jackasses on the earth. But they're here.
Yes.
They're fools, they're idiots. They make life hard. They make life hard. You're not going to escape that. You're not going to change them. God can't even change them. God can't even change them. Because people are who they've chosen to be. But when you're dealing with someone like that, you have to recognize in any environment, who's the authority? Who's ignoring? Here's what I look at. Who's ignoring the authority? And authority has a responsibility to protect the others.
Yes.
And yet there's some authority that want to embarrass, diminish, play the other person down. You're nobody. I'm everybody. You must listen to who people are. You must be attentive. Who is this person? I've had people treat me like a king and turn around and treat the people right around me who I trust so much, value so much, treat them like a dog.
Yes.
You don't know anybody by how they treat you.
Wow.
You don't know them. You don't know them. I've had a person on staff who treated me like I was King Tut, King Solomon, and God all wrapped in one, and turn around and talk to others like they were idiots, talk to them like they were morons, knowing nothing. Crazy. Crazy.
Wow.
But you want to do your best to get along with those people.
Yes.
You want to get along with the devil if you can.
Yes.
Because he's got several more devils behind him in case he gets tired. Be careful who you're picking a fight with. You better know the dog if you jerk the chain.
Yes.
You jerk the chain, I'll take care of you. You may not know what else you got behind there.
Yes.
You want to try to be a peacemaker in every scenario. In every scenario, try to be the peacemaker.
Yes.
I want to say this to leaders. Once you realize you have someone that doesn't care about peace, they want position, they want authority, or they have a plan, or they want their way, you got to acknowledge that. You better acknowledge the Lucifer in your world, because there will be one. If God had a Lucifer, you're going to have more than one too. And Lucifer has friends, and they have relatives, and they stay alive for a long time. Try to get along with everyone possible, even the bad people.
Wow.
Even the bad people. Don't deny yourself the secret advantage of truth about somebody. Don't deny yourself that. If you see somebody as a troublemaker, say they've got issues. They've got issues. That's a real sweet, nice word of saying there's a potential problem. They've got some issues. Another word that's used like that is they have some challenges. Isn't that sweet?
Yes, sir.
It's real sweet, real sweet. They've got some challenges. Now, in my lingo, in my personal mind, I say they've got demon spirits. They've got spirits. They've got a problem. Be truthful with yourself at all times. Know who's a possible troublemaker. Know who's a troublemaker for those you love. Know who wants to make trouble for you. And we say make trouble. They fight against the peace. And they use their personality. They use maybe their age. They may even use matter what. Is there anything unusual about everybody wanting their way? Of course not. We all want our way. We all want our way. That's why people form little companies so they can do it their way. In the words of Burger King, have it your way. And Burger King, the hamburger place, said have it your way because at McDonald's you got stuck with what they wanted you to have. And Burger King said, if you want a lot of onions, we'll add it. If you want a lot of lettuce, we'll add it. Have it your way. And so there's a place for that. We all want to have things our way. Can we? Well, if I had my way, I'd never pay any taxes. If I had my way, everybody else would have to stop at stop signs except me. If I had my way, I'd go 100 miles an hour on the freeway if I had my way. So you can't really have life all your way. Adjustment has advantages. Adaptation has benefits. But you want to try to get along with people. What does it require? Well, it's according to who it is. I get along with some people like that. You never have a problem in 100 years. Other people, you're going to have a problem in 20 minutes. To get along with people, first know the value of it, know the importance of it. There's a real reward in peace. There's a real loss in war and battle. There's a war in it. Get along with people, you need to know them better. That's why Donald Trump went to see Chairman Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Other presidents refused to do it. They said they would, but they wouldn't. Donald Trump went. He said, I want to see him. I want to see him in his eyes. I want to get a feeling of his aura, his presence. I want to get to know who he is. What's he really like? What's his need? And he went there to discern what his real need was. And his real need was recognition. He's a very short man. He's an ugly man. He's not good looking. He doesn't have, but he's smart as they come. He killed his brother. He killed his, all kind of stuff's been accused of. But he's not a good man. There's nothing good about him. He kills Christians, tortures Christians. There's nothing good about him. But he wanted to know more. What is this man like? Among the mafia, there's a statement. Hold your friends close. Hold your enemies closer. Which means you really need to know the people that you are connected with. Know their needs. Know their weaknesses. Know what triggers them. And know what brings peace. You're striving to be a peacemaker. Is that possible? Not always. Of course not. Of course not. God couldn't keep peace with Lucifer because he had a rebel. Just people you can't get along with. God couldn't get along with Lucifer without forsaking everything he was. Some people don't know their place. You need to understand that. Some people don't know your place. Some people don't know their value. Some people don't know your value. Some people don't value your difference. I've had pastors at the Wisdom Center that get up and do the opposite of what I just told them to do. Opposite. Well, I thought it'd be better. I know you said this, but I thought, well, I said, well, then pay your own salary. Go find your church. Go build one. Do it to pay yourself. But if you're on my payroll, you're not going to run everything your way. If you're on my payroll. If you want me to work for you, then you write me a check. That's the way it goes here, Buster Brown. And there's just people that just can't get along with. Just can't. And people you would never know. It's not always awkward. I've had some of the sweetest, demure, melt in your mouth, humble look, almost look like they're crawling to kiss your feet. And they're as rebellious as the devil.
Yes.
And I didn't find it out. I remember standing in a Holton Hall, and I was meeting all the new people that had come to visit Wisdom Center that day. And there was a young man to my right. I mean, his eyes, he looks nice, dressed nice, sweetest smile, kindest spirit. And soon as, I didn't know his name, I said, I want him by me. I want him to work next to me. And I'll tell you, the most gentle, kindest, nicest rebel you've ever met. I could tell him to be at 11 o'clock. He'd come at 1, no matter what. But he did it sweetly. He did it nicely. But I could never depend on him doing something I asked. But I'll tell you, he was as nice a human as you'd ever meet in your life. Well, I can't get along with someone who's passive aggressive. I'll be real nice to your face, but I will do things my way. Could you have this done tomorrow? Yes, sir. 3 days later, was it done? No, sir. I guess I forgot. I've had so many of those kind in my world. I can't even imagine heaven. I can't even imagine people like that in heaven. Yeah, how do you get along with them? Well, one of the things, who belongs where? Do they belong close to me? Well, I don't do good with that kind of person. I don't do good. You got to recognize people's, to get along with people, you got to recognize their true agendas, their needs, their difference. Now you know their value, their importance, because sometimes you got to get along with people that are really important. They're really, really important, but they're hard to get along with, but they're valuable. So you got to adapt, and you've got to move, and you've got to say, what can I do to make it easier? I shouldn't talk about this too long today because it's bringing me a lot of anxiety right now, just thinking about all this junk that you have to live with people. But you have to identify difference. What is wisdom? Recognition of difference. What is honor? Rewarding someone for their difference. What is understanding? Knowing the value of their difference. If you're married to someone, you have to make some extra concessions. Why? You've made a commitment before God and man. You said you would be with this person no matter what happened. Conversations make things easier. Conversations make it easier. And there's always something missing. Always something not told you that would make a difference. Always. In every situation, somebody left out information that would change the decision you're making. And you've got to ask questions, jump through hoops, jump all around the place to find out what it is. It would shock you if you knew the investment I make to get some information. It would shock you. It would shock you to find out how hard it is for me to get some information. It'd shock you, stun you. Simple information. But you're working through flawed people every day of your life. Every person you're working with is flawed. Everybody. There is nobody unflawed. To get along with people, you're going to have to know that flaw. What is that weakness? To get along with people, you're going to have to identify their weaknesses. And you're going to have to verify their difference, their value. And you're going to have to work within the framework of their limitations. You have to. coordinate that. You have to integrate someone's weakness with your expectations. You have to work with that. This is what I'm expecting this person to do. This is what they will do. I know the people who will always make mistakes. It's just in them. It's just in them like a snake crawls on the ground. It's just in them like the sky is blue. No amount of intercession prayer is going to change their weakness. Except that. Except that. If prayer could have changed somebody's weakness, Judas would have been Jesus Jr. Because Jesus prayed all night and Judas never changed. No, you can't. You can't change somebody's nature through prayer. My God. You're not going to change their nature through prayer. Don't pray, oh God, change this person's nature. You say God schedule events that affect them, influence them. Jesus prayed for Jerusalem. Did it change their nature? No. You don't see God praying for Lucifer, do you?
Wow.
And you've got to accept that. You say, well, I don't believe that. Well, you do your CBP and write your books. I'm just sending my thoughts, my feelings.
Yes.
Took me 73 years to learn you couldn't change somebody's nature through prayer. Why? That's their nature. If you don't believe that, go pray for a crocodile you can pet. You know.
That's so good. Oh, what a picture, Dr. Murdoch.
It's my world.
Wow.
And you got your bipolar group. You know, they're a crocodile one day and a canary the next. And you don't know, what do I have here? Well, you've got a mixture. That's what you have.
Oh, that is so good. Wow.
Conversation. Who do you need? What do you need them for? Who needs you? What do they need you for? Who loves you? Why do they love you? How long will they love you? What's the real reason they love you? To get along with people, you're going to have to constantly search for distinctions and difference. Constantly. Constantly. Miscommunication is a common problem.
Yes.
I am heavy, obsessed with accuracy in my communication. I can't hardly find it anywhere. I labor for it, fight for it, ask questions to get it. A lot of adaptation needed. You adapt when the adaptation has a payoff, has a reward to it. You adapt to your child, because the child's limited. You know the child's limited. You expect the child to be limited. You're not angry when the child messes in the little crib with diapers, because that's what a child does. But you'd feel horrible if you woke up the next morning, your husband had messed all over the bed. You'd feel totally different because you know he's a husband, so your expectations of him is different. You would expect him to get up in the night and go to the bathroom, and you don't expect your little baby sitting there 3 months old to do that. So your expectations of people have to be logical, reasonable. What does this person know? What do they not know how to do? Where do they need to be trained? Where are they untrained? There's some very good people who are untrained. but they've got hearts of gold. They're just untrained. And you would need to train them if they're trainable or if they desire to be trained. And if it's worth the time, because training is a very painful thing to do. So they want to be trained. They willing to be trained. Are the rewards for being trained big enough? You can't throw everybody in one kettle, which means by this, you can't say everybody's the same. Nobody's the same. They won't be in the same mood on Tuesday as they were on Wednesday. Everybody has moods. Everybody has influences, third voices. You can talk to somebody on Monday and Tuesday, you feel like you got a different person. Different mood, different focus, different purpose. Maybe they just got a bad phone call. So to get along with people, I don't really like talking about this topic, but it's a necessity.
Dr. Murdoch, this is such a huge blessing to us. And I have some comments for you from many of your love circle.
Oh, good ones.
Oh, yes.
Good ones.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jacob Taco, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I apologize. But he says, I have been praying to God for a mentor and father, and my prayers have been answered through Dr. Murdoch. From the beginning of the year, I have been following, and I am very thankful.
Thank you so very much for those words.
Miss Indiana Jones says, these are such wise words. It's almost impossible to be completely authentic and get along with people.
Indiana, it really is. And some people you will never have a problem with in your life for several reasons. One, you never ask anything of them they don't want to do. Number two, they're not around you every hour. Some people are easy to get along with for different reasons. Some people are not easy to get along with because they're so lovable. There's no requirements. There's no needs. There's no demands. You know, I never fuss with the banker. Why? There's no demands. Here, deposit this check. Thank you. Cash this check. Thank you. There's no demands.
Yes.
Or they're established and clear. It's hard to get along with somebody unless the expectations are clearly defined. What are your expectations? If you make changes quickly for some people, they become hard to get along with you if you make a change. If you don't fulfill expectations. Like yesterday, the doctor I went to yesterday is one of my favorite too. The last, I think 3 times, I had to wait 2 hours sitting out laying on a sofa. 2 hours waiting for them. They never came out, never offered coffee, never brought me donuts, never anything, just laid on the sofa. 2 hours, so I was real tired of that, you know. So about the last time I was there, I just went and got the van, and one of his little ladies come out there and said, are you home? How do you feel? That's what she, the little fake nurse vocabulary. How do you feel? I said, insulted. I'd driven over 1 hour to be there, sat there for 2 hours, and not the slightest sign of caring or communication. But I went back sometimes an extra, and if the last time I was there, I said, he doesn't care. Let's find another dog. He doesn't care. This time it was a little different flow, different mood, nicer. So sometimes an extra conversation helps. Just give somebody a chance again. I don't know. I don't you it'll be the next 2 weeks later, it'll be done. I know that. Why do you put up with it? Well, they got other good qualities. We endure people because of their good qualities that usually outshine their difficulties, their weaknesses. You know, if you love truth, you'll love me. If you love constant approval of every little thing you do, you may not love me, because I won't be openly approval of everything you do. If I don't agree, I don't agree. Does that make sense?
Yes, Dr. Murdoch. It does, and this is helping us so, so much.
Adjust when you can, adapt when you can. And when you feel like you can't take anymore, try to get away from it. And that's advice from Bishop David Oyedepo, great man of God in Lagos. I said, what do you do when you get upset with your staff? He said, get away from them. Just get away from them. He said, when you're mad, get away from everybody. Well, that wasn't my approach. My approach was to call a mentorship class to start the video. I want to teach y'all something, because you made so many mistakes, Dad. You won't show you what you did wrong. But he said, when I was mad, I just need to get away from everybody. So that's his approach. He's probably a lot brighter than me for sure. So maybe that's the thing. If you're mad at everybody, well, that's not time to go have a meal with your husband, you know. If you're mad at him. So try to understand that you may have to change your behavior for a little while, a day. There's times it's good that I'm not at the office. There's other days it might be good. There may be days it's good for me to teach. Maybe days it's not good for me to teach. I'm one of 7 children, and I had to see favoritism every day of my life. I saw favoritism. My older brother was allowed to go spend months with his cousins. I wasn't. He was allowed to go spend the night with friends. I wasn't. I begged for a horse for years, never got one. My baby brother was bought 2. My baby brother was treated with the highest level. I mean, sugar. He was sugar. He was my baby brother. My older brother, because he's older, got to do things I never got to do. My older sister, Barbara, was Daddy's favorite. She could do no wrong. No wrong. You know, she could make a donut and Daddy would praise it for 35 years, you know. I could write a book, Daddy never read it, so we all could do it. You're going to have to live with the favorites of other people. They have favorites. And you're going to have to work with that. You're going to have to accept that. You're going to have to accept that. Now, the good thing is that somebody else is going to make you a favorite, and you work with the people. Who shows you favor? Who shows you favor? Who loves your favor? Who wants your favor? Who enjoys it? See, I have people in my life that I wish they wanted my favor, but they don't. Well, I have to live with that. I have to accept that my favor means nothing to them. Pastor Andrew, you have to live with the fact that there's people that I don't care how much work you go to have a great Thursday night service. They have no intentions of walking down the hall and sitting and listening to you.
Yes, sir.
That's hard to live with, but you got to accept that. How do you do that? You look at the people in front of you who couldn't wait for you to start teaching.
Yes.
And you build your life around the people who enjoy. You don't build your life around the people who don't care.
Yes.
And you go crazy. You go crazy. What if there wouldn't even have been a Jesus if God had gotten locked up with Lucifer? He had to come up and say, let me create another plan. I'll find some people who want me, some people who enjoy me, people who love me. You don't see Jesus holding Pharisee conferences trying to get them to like him. Well, let me hold a special miracle conference for Sadducees. If I don't get some big miracles, then maybe they'll like me.
Wow.
There's just people that's not going to like anything you do, but you don't build your life around them. You don't build your conversation around them. And you recognize, hey, that's the way it works. It makes me appreciate people
Yes.
who really care, people who really want.
Yes. Wow.
I have people who both like me, but they don't like each other.
Yes.
If you want hell on earth, try that.
Yes, sir.
You've got two people who like you, but they despise each other. Now you got to put up with that conflict.
Yes, sir.
Identify the people who want to get along. Identify the people who have no intentions of getting along at any price. And you've got to identify who are the people who want to own you. You're their slave or you're their whatever, but they intend to own you. And if they see somebody else enjoying you, they get angry. If they see you enjoy anybody else, they plan your assassination, you know.
Wow.
That's a joke. Coaches have to build teams with people who get along.
Yes.
They're some of the best ball players in the world. Lose their jobs not because they're not good. They're phenomenal, but they can't get along with the other people on the team.
Wow.
And it affects the function of the whole team.
Yes.
There's people who can get along with you as long as you're kissing their feet, massaging their toes, you know, bringing them donuts every hour. There's people that you can get along with if you're their slave. And there's people that can get along with you if they're the lotteries. But be honest with yourself about all those things. There's people that you can get along with, but you can't depend on them for any kind of responsibilities. They're peaceful, they're nice, but you can't get anything done to them. They're going to find a way out. I didn't understand. And after a while, you realize I can't build a life with them. They're not bad people. They just don't care about your instructions. Don't matter to them. Your instructions are important. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, that's my world. That's my life. Try to get along with people you can, and but don't try to change anybody too much. You'll have a problem. Any thoughts?
Yes, sir. I have many comments for you. Sned31 says, I lost my father in June, and the Lord brought you into my life. I love your words. Her name is Patricia.
Thank you.
Mr. Jacks says, I want to train my mind until I think and look at people and situations the way you think and look at things.
I'm not sure that's wise, but thank you for those are kind words.
Pastor Ken Loring said something funny when you were talking about monkeys and crocodiles. He said, sometimes we feel like the zookeepers.
You are, Pastor Ken. Don't ever forget it. You are a zookeeper.
Bishop Paul Wondrachek says, you gotta love them, but you cannot always work with them. So glad you're broadcasting again, Dr. Murdoch.
Thank you, Bishop Paul. Thank you. Thank you. Well, there's a lot of one-liners. There's a lot of, this is a phenomenal teaching today. It's overcrowded, of course, but if you can come back and listen to this carefully, step by step, and my sister Flo does the heavy editing from my books, and this is all things that require a lot of different paragraphs for people to grasp this. You won't grasp it all, as I've said too much too fast, but is everybody's different in different seasons, different days. Everybody can adjust it differently. Some people can adjust to you quickly. Some people can't. Some people don't care enough to just adjust. But you want to try to get along with everyone as well as you can possibly get along. Try to understand their goals, their needs. I had an interesting conversation with one of my team last night, a young minister that I really admire and got a lot of good qualities, but I asked him what the theme of his life was. His personality is perfect for his theme. He's very a young man of great honor. Great honor. He just, I think he could work around the devil and never get mad. You know, he's just so nice, so kind. And I found myself asking if he knew some scriptures on that theme. And found myself wanting to help him outline some of his thoughts on it. And he's always appreciative of anything that I say or do. And I was thinking how you can give some people, you can give some people a spoon of corn and they thank you if you use it, but you can give other people 5 banquets in a row and they don't care. Everybody has a thank you level, a gratitude system. And these are some qualities that you want to consider and get along with people. What are their past accomplishments? And do I realize what they've accomplished? And am I treating them accordingly with respect to what all they've done? You know, there's people that can sit with the greatest people on earth and take over the conversation as if they are, you know, when they hadn't done anything. So I'm training you in these training things to try recognize the greatness of others, where they have been great, where they have accomplished, what have they done. President George H.W. Bush, the senior Bush president, said one time, a little exasperated, one of his board meetings, he says, if all of you are so smart, why am I the president? And the fact was that he is the one that got the position. He is the one that achieved that place. So recognize it, see what it is. I told you the first time I met Mr. Trump was with about 40 other preachers, and I'd been invited by one of his close friends to come meet him. I said, I'd love to meet him. I've been wanting to meet him since 86, 87. And I watched 35, 45-year-old preachers who talked to Mr. Trump like he was a dog. They had such disrespect. Preachers. They were 2 or 3 of them so disrespectful to him, and he just listened carefully to them. No look on his face, kind of stone face, just listened to him. Nodded to acknowledge, because he's a master listener. But he didn't get into an argument with them. He didn't. I think he instantly recognized their limitations mentally, their emotional limitations, their intellectual limitations. They certainly didn't have any grace, no honor, and he just let that go by. So to get along with people, you have to let some things go by. Don't try to change anybody. Don't try to teach somebody. And don't try to teach somebody older than you. They already think they know everything. And so don't try to teach them. Change conversations to the ask of, in the sense of a question. Ask a question instead. Just acknowledge the lordship of those great ones around you. Acknowledge their goodness, their accomplishment. And if somebody doesn't acknowledge yours, recognize that's one of their limitations. But this has been a lot of material today. It hasn't brought me a lot of joy to say it, but it's something you got to do. You got to work with people, and you've got to allow for people to have their differences, and you cannot settle all the differences between other people. Jesus couldn't settle it between some of his disciples. They were griping at each other, and they were in the presence of Jesus. So some people are going to have to work out their own problems. I've hated that. I've hated that with my staff. When I'd see two couldn't get along, it was so absurd. Two people couldn't get along, and I was just shocked, in a state of shock. When two people couldn't let something go, I've been stunned at who magnifies problems and who belittles them or who overlooks little things. I'm shocked at who makes a big offense out of something tiny. There's people that'll take a little pebble problem and they can't rest until they've made 49 mountains out of it. There's people, and you just have to acknowledge that. This person makes little problems big. This person makes a big problem tiny. And just constantly be aware that that's the core of life, is get along with people. And just think, Cain only had one brother and couldn't get along, wanted to kill him, and did kill him in the Bible. And that's, is that shocking?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only one brother had killed him. Look at all the brothers of Joseph, but they can only have one thing on their mind, killing him. All those brothers could get along with each other on one thing. We all hate the same person, Joseph. David had the same problem with his brothers. And David brought them food, but they were mad because he got involved with the conversation about Goliath. They're just people I can't get along with. Don't know why. And it's probably, there's just a lot of things people you can't. And doesn't mean that you have a knockdown drag out. You can just sense that they have a different agenda. They want something that you cannot give them. That's the important thing you write down there if you're taking notes. There are people who want something you cannot give them. And they're angry because they think you could.
Wow, that is so good. Dr. Murdoch, we have Dr. Todd Kuntz commenting that this is great wisdom today, so powerful.
Thank you, Dr. Todd. Love you deeply. Anxious to meet you, lady. I know that you're started. I think Todd started a church in Fort Lauderdale. I hope him and Ken Laurie get to meet each other.
Dr. Samuel from France, he says it's always lovely to hear your voice.
Thank you, Dr. Samuel. Thank you so much. He was with me the other day, got a chance to come over to my house here. And, he sure knows how to love. Dr. Samuel, all this material is really important to you. So many people you have to get along with in the Congo, different groups that you have to meet with, and you're working some with the government leaders there in Congo as well as your church in Paris, France. And so this will be good material for you. There's some people going to be jealous of you because of your position, your access. Some people will try to get along with you because of who they're wanting to get to. There's some people that's, and you have to understand that. There's it's not enough who wants to know you. Why do they want to know you? Is important. Why do they want to be close to you?
That's so good. Mr. Baruch Vera from Mexico. I like this comment, Dr. Murdoch. He says, hello, blessings from Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. Yesterday, I received a letter from you. Thank you so much. I feel so glad and honored. Please keep writing me if possible. I'm so pleased, and your letters will be really, really welcome.
Make a note of him.
Yes, Dr. Murdoch.
Please make a note of that person.
Yes, Dr. Murdoch. And yes, Dr. Murdoch. Baruch Vera, and he is watching on Facebook. Yes, sir. I will make a note of him. And FYI, he's here every time you teach.
I want to know him, and I want to bless him.
Yes, sir.
I want to bless him. That's a real investment in my joy. And I'm gonna today. I really need some extra joy. I need some extra joy.
We have many, Dr. Murdoch, writing your quotes. I'm looking for comments because they're here. Pastor Ken Loring says, I needed this message big time. Mr. Ticha from Japan is here also, acknowledging your words. They write down their favorite quotes that you're saying. Miss Indiana Jones wrote, you're not going to accomplish any goals or dreams until you master getting along with others, as one of your quotes.
Let me mention something too. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Cynthia, appreciate that. Let me mention this too. Getting along with somebody doesn't mean that they're your favorite experience. It means that you minimize conflict. You minimize conflict. Minimize it. And getting along with others doesn't mean that you even agree with them. It means that you do not make a mountain out of something small. You keep it, you just keep it small. And there are some things you need to look for. There's questions you ask yourself. Does this person want to get along with me? If so, why? Do they want to see me happy? Or am I a door to a future they want? What is the purpose of the relationship? What's the rewards of the relationship? What are the, there's a word for it. What's the cost of the relationship? What's the price? Every relationship has a price. Every relationship. There's limitations to relationships. There's people you'd love to be around more, but you can't because of your responsibilities. Most every father would love to play with his children every day, but he's got a responsibility to provide a house. So his kids may be mad because daddy's not home, but he's buying the clothes they're wearing. So you want to get along with people, you need to know several things about them. Their background, their experience, their goals, what they've overcome. Hillary Clinton has a real good paragraph in her book, What Happened Concerning the Election with her and Donald Trump. She has a good statement in there about a man that she didn't agree with. But she didn't say anything negative, real negative. She said the statement, he came from a background of this. And she described the background of a man she strongly disagreed with. And the way she described it explained why there would be conflict. She didn't say anything negative about him. She said he came from a background of this. Just like if you know a man never had a father and he grew up without a father, that would make you a more understanding of that man's position on things, his opinion. If you knew a girl's father had forsaken her when she was a little girl, you would understand her feelings, her thoughts. But getting along with people is a full-time job. Some people are very easy to be around. Some people are easy to be around for 15 minutes. Some people are easy to be around for half a day. Blew a lunch from a great friend of mine from many years ago. I really admired him. He was the president of one of our Bible colleges too, but he was an evangelist. In fact, his daughter is part of our family here. But Lord Lundstrom told me many years ago, they said, when you hire a second in command to your ministry, anyone who's going to oversee your ministry, they need to be something. By the way, this is advice from Lowell Lundstrom, great advice. If Flo's listening, this is how you'd separate it in the book. But he said, if you're going to hire somebody to represent you to all your staff and all your vendors, it needs to be a person you would want to go on vacation with for 2 weeks. You'd want to be around them every day for 2 weeks. Is that not something?
Yes, sir.
Had I followed that advice, I'd sure been I sure would have avoided a lot of tears, a lot of heartache. Identify the goodness in the relationship. Identify the responsibilities of it, the stress of it. And there's many relationships that have stress levels. Some have a stress level of 1. Some have a stress level of 9, 5. Some people that love being with you will suddenly become stressful if you bring friend number 2 in. Number 3. Suddenly the whole thing changes. I've seen times I was talking to somebody and enjoying it. A third person walk in and sit in, and suddenly the person who was just so warm to me changed instantly with the presence of the third person. Yes. Crazy, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I love when you talk about
lost in all this. I'm just parts of this. You won't want to listen to all this. Well, everything I'm teaching will drive you crazy if you try to get it all done in one setting. I'm just throwing these pieces of information where you may fit them in a place where you may have conflict right now. What did you start to say, Pastor?
I apologize for interrupting, Dr. Murdoch. When you talk about equations, I remember you saying that you have to work with different groups of people, that they fit together, that the chemistry works well, and that's one equation, and you kind of move from one equation to another. That really blessed me and helped me in getting along with people.
Some people need constant recognition. Some people are embarrassed by recognition. Some people deserve it but don't receive it. And I think it's wise to always acknowledge the goodness of people, acknowledge the greatness of people. Because, and a lot of times I've been shocked that someone did not understand their own greatness. I've been shocked that they didn't understand their own goodness, but they had never been told it. And, they had never been told it. Or they had, maybe their mind was on their weakness instead of their strength. And there's just people that need to be reminded of how extraordinary they are. I don't think it ever hurts to show people their goodness, that you see their difference. In fact, I think it's wise to continuously remind people of what you appreciate about them. What you appreciate about them. And I don't think once is ever enough. I don't think one time just telling somebody what you like about them is enough. I think they need to hear it continuously. And there's a way to say it. There's a way to... I never get tired of someone telling me that uh, what they value in me. I don't get tired of that. I get tired if it doesn't sound real, or it sounds contrived, or it sounds false. But those are my thoughts today, and everybody's different in different scenarios. Everybody. You'd be shocked if you saw. I remember Franklin Graham putting a picture of his father, Billy Graham, out in the backyard doing a grill with his children, laughing. And I thought, wow, that's a different Billy Graham. But Franklin Graham said his daddy was the same at home as he was with people. He had never changed. He was the same with all of them. But we don't see him that way because we didn't experience him. Your experience with people is very different from experiences other people have had. Like there's people I've had a real good experience with, but other people did not.
Dr. Murdoch, Anton Ricardo says, what an honor is to be alive to hear your words. I write and practice them always.
Anton, you're so good to encourage me. You know what? He's consistent too. Means a lot for him to be expressive. I value that, son. Thank you.
Elizabeth Morales says, we love you and appreciate your teachings. My favorite quote is, don't waste your time teaching goats.
Teaching who?
Goats.
G-O-A-T-S.
Yes, sir.
No, there's I would encourage you not to overthink someone who's you've had a conflict with. Don't overthink it. That stuff never ends. I've never tried so hard in my life. I couldn't tell you a day I didn't give my best to the day I didn't try. I couldn't tell you a day I did not give my best to. And I still had enemies. I still had friends that turned on, changed. I had people that became Judases in the sense of they turned on me when I couldn't do something else for them, I couldn't tell you. But my weakness is I overthink that I meditate too much on people that didn't work out. And it's a major problem in my emotional life because there's people you can walk away from easily, and because they're just so painful. There's others that you wonder what happened. Why are we not still close together? What happened? And I don't know if you can ever figure all that out, but I do know if you can stay focused on the people that you flow with, the people you get along with, stay focused and try to be. When you can't be an explainer, at least be a listener. And sometimes I can't explain things for people, but at least I can listen. And then there's other scenarios where you don't need to be listening. There's complaints that you don't need to listen to. I'll say this to Ken Loring and Todd and other ministers who are listening. I've really been affected by hearing bad stuff a lot. If I hear about a lot of conflicts, it messes my head up. Sometimes I can't shake it for days. And you need to understand your personal weakness in getting along with people. Understand. Don't bring trouble on the inside of you if you can, if you could avoid it. If you can avoid it. If you can avoid it.
Dr. Murdoch, Miss Afa says, no better teacher than you, sir. Your teachings bring us joy as we make good decisions.
Thank you, Alpha. Thank you so much. Fly here many times. Means a lot. Means a lot. Getting along with people, you need to understand what triggers you and what to move away from pretty quick. What to get out of. Don't stay in an environment that creates agitation. Don't permit it. Don't know your own needs. I have a need for purposeful comments, purposeful conversation. I have a need for that. A lot of people don't. A lot of people get sit and tell jokes for 30 minutes and love life and enjoy it. I'm not there. I may have been when I was 20, but I'm not there now. And I know your current needs. To get along with people, you must know what your own needs are too. And sometimes you may have to get away from someone that you actually like, but you have to get away from them because of your needs. You have a need. You don't dislike them, but you have a need. You have a need. And never overlook your own needs. And I'll say this many times, take care of you first, because the happiest you is the best gift you can give others. The happiest you is the best gift you can give others. So really, really invest in your own joy. Invest greatly in your own joy. Invest greatly in your own joy. I hope all this is somewhere helpful. I'm not in the most joyful place today in my head. I've got some sorrow operating in my spirit today. And sorrow over the very thing that I'm talking about, people that can't get along. And it makes me just so sad. And it affects me to the core of my life. And try to avoid getting involved in the problems of others. Let them work out when you can. You're not responsible for two people who can't get along. You may be able to contribute a conversation or a thought, but once you realize that there's just some people thrive in conflict. There's just people that are naturally combative. Here's some qualities to look for in getting along with people. Are they naturally combative, or is this unusual? Do they feel hurt or embarrassed? Do they feel ignored or humiliated? Have they been made to feel unimportant? Do they have the right information? Is there something happened that was misinterpreted? Pastor Anna, you and I were talking about something last night, where there was a phrase that was spoken to me, and I had the understanding that you had talked to somebody, but the fact is you hadn't talked to them. You had received a message about them from another person, right? Yes, sir. Those are things you want to work through, and sometimes an extra phone call, an extra conversation. It's real dangerous when somebody else represents you. And if you go through somebody who goes through somebody else, who goes to the number 4 person, who goes to number 5 person. There was a game we played at school. I don't remember what it was called, but they would line up all the kids in a room, 25 of us or so, 28. And the first child would make a statement to the next child, whisper in their ear. Then that child whispered in the ear of the third person what they believed they just heard. And by the time they reached the end, it was nowhere close. It was not even anywhere near because there had been such mistranslation and misinterpretation, words that are spoken wrong. I urge everyone around me to talk slow enough to be understood. I also urge them to tell me what we're about to talk about. Just don't start talking about something. Say the topic is this. FYI means this is just for your information. I'm not going to ask you to make a decision, because I mentally position when someone starts talking to me, and I need to know, what are we addressing? What are you discussing here with me? And when you have as many conversations as I have, you really need clarity. I'm real clarity in a conversation, accuracy in a conversation really matters to me. Do you know this? Who told you that? Oh, that person told you. Okay. And sometimes people build a reputation for inaccuracy. You know that it takes them 3 or 4 times to get it right. And you work that in to the equation of the relationship.
This is so good. Dr. Murdock is helping us so much. And I have comments there writing the quotes that you're sharing, Dr. Murdock. And Miss Julie Maggard says this was a very powerful statement, what you just gave us. And also Miss Heather mentioned from Australia. She says, God bless you, Dr. Mike. I'm enjoying my 10th session on the art of receiving.
Well, I'd expect to be a very, very prosperous lady in 5 years. Yes. You're wise, Heather. You're wise. You're wise. You cannot be a close friend to everybody. Yes. And you cannot meet everybody's expectations of what a friendship is. I told the illustration some months ago about the partner that I wrote her a letter and said, always your friend. And she wrote me back and says, we're not friends. Friends take walks together. Friends go picnics together. And she was angry because I wouldn't date her. And what she wanted me to be to her, I couldn't be. And so, because I couldn't be to her what she wanted me to be, she turned on me, angry with me. And I remember a friend of mine was telling me he had written an email to a mutual friend who was famous preacher. And he had written him back, so he had sent him another email, and he didn't write him back, and he was angry. Well, my Lord, I said, are you aware of who he is and his responsibilities? I said, what was the purpose of your email? Because I would never write a preacher something if his secretary can handle the problem. It would never cross my mind. I have phone numbers of the most famous people in the world, and I would never call. I would go through their office. I would follow the protocol. Every friendship has a protocol, spoken or unspoken, known or unknown. Every friendship has an unspoken protocol. One of my best friends, my best supporters in my life, I mean, he is a jewel for my life. But he goes through my assistant. He would never call me directly, though he has my number. He would never, because he understands my responsibilities. And he cheerfully and gladly communicates through one of my assistants, tell Dr. Murdock this, tell Dr. Murdock that. And he's one of the best people in my world. but he understands the protocol of the relationship. And I would never call him directly. I'd call his office, or have my assistant call his office and say, tell him this. Respect that. Respect the expectations of others. Also respect their limitations. Respect the limitations of every relationship. My father and my sister lived next door to me. It would never cross my mind to walk over their house. And I owned the house. But it would never cross my mind to walk over there, knock on the door. I would call and say, let me know when it's a good time for me to come over. I'd like to take about 5 minutes, and I'd tell them the purpose of coming over. I would never, it never crossed my mind to drive up to somebody's house, knock on her door, without calling and say, what's the purpose here, or is this a good time? It never crossed my mind. It's just a matter of, I guess, training, being trained. Every relationship has to have training. You train for the relationship. This is what I expect. This is what I'd like. This is what I don't like. This is what I would want.
Dr. Murdoch, I was just thinking on what you're sharing now, and I think that the only way to keep unity is to respect the protocol and flow chart. And I love when you teach on protocol, because sometimes we don't see how important protocol is to protect getting along with people.
It's everything. It's everything. And I try to teach some of those things. That's it's back to my message. Know who you're talking to. Know who you are talking to. You know, there was a friend of mine who got in trouble, real bad trouble, and I called Paula White, and she's close to the president, you know, Trump. And I don't call her once a year. She's got incredible responsibilities. I don't know how she keeps up with them. And she was just getting in the car with Jonathan Kane, her husband, precious man. And they were heading to the airport. And I said, I just need 3 minutes. And I said, and she's always been a gracious friend. I've known her since she's 18, 19 years old. Very close. One of the finest humans on the earth, really. And I said, I have a friend who is facing some horrible, horrible things. And I need some attention. He's in a court going through a legal battle that he's being wronged. And I said, I don't know if you can do anything about it, but I said, I think you know him, and I wrote his phone number. And I said, if there's anything that you can do with President Trump to get this into the Department of Justice, something, some way. And then I told her, I says, I know that everybody in the world is asking you to help them on some things, so I'm very reluctant to do this, but he is a man of God. He's a good man. And I at least want to get his name to you in case you can. And think it was 34. She had 34 or 38. If I recall, it was, let me say 34. If I recall, she says she had 34 crisis scenarios she would have been given. 34. Just that had to do with injustice in a court. And she shared one of the things that a lady she was trying to help. And I understand when she finished. I said, I cannot, but I couldn't believe to know her workload. I couldn't believe to know what she works with. I mean, I can't. I hope she keeps her sanity, because I can't believe, just thinking about the conversation right now, it gives me stress to think about that I had called her for one more problem. But I addressed that, and I says, I know that everybody's asking you for things, but if the Lord directs you, as you feel, and always leave that there. And if the Lord makes it possible, if it works out, you feel right in your heart, give him a call. And she said, I will call, and I will try. Now, I don't know if she ever talked to him or not. I don't know if she talked to the president or not. What I know is everybody has more on their plate than they can handle, so to speak. They have more. No, I shouldn't say that. Many people have many responsibilities they cannot begin to resolve. They cannot even begin to. And I do. I have far more than I can handle. Far more than I can handle. And it affects us. It impacts us. And if somebody wants to meet with you and you really don't have the energy or the time because of your other responsibilities, I've had some of the most wonderful people in the world say, I want to come. I've heard it so many times I can't count them. I want to come and just hang out with you for 2 or 3 days. Pick your brain. And I smile, I don't hang out with anybody. I don't hang out. I don't have the energy nor the time nor the freedom to hang out with anybody. Does that make sense? Yes, and telling them no, or would that be nice if we had time to do that? And I'll get it peer back. I'm serious. I want you just name the month, you name the week, you name. I can't do that. So I have to set up a gatekeeping system that protects me from my own desires. Sometimes I would want to meet with somebody, and I wish I could, but to protect my own emotions and to protect me, I have to say no. Saying no may be the only salvation you have with your life, to preserve your life, to preserve your focus. And you cannot get along with anyone who's disrespectful of your responsibilities. I wish somebody would retweet that, maybe Heather or Julie will. You cannot get along with anyone who has no respect for your responsibilities. If a wife is taking care of 3 and 4 kids, she's overloaded. Her husband stomps in, walks in, and sits in front of the TV. If he does not respect her responsibilities, she will never be able to get along with him. See, a lot of people don't know, Pastor Anna, of all your responsibilities. You never discuss them. You never complain. They have no idea that you have 3 children to take care of, that you have a husband to take care of, that you have a mother 73 years old that you're watching over, that you have teachings, settings, you have TWC responsibilities, you have staff responsibilities, you have, there is they don't know 1% of what all you have to do. Well, there's no way you will ever be able to get along with anybody in the TWC or outside if they don't respect your responsibilities. Can't do it. Can't do it. You cannot get along with anyone who is disrespectful of the load that you carry. And you can't get along with anyone who is disrespectful of your achievements and your accomplishments.
I think we can measure a relationship with those two sentences you gave us, Dr. Murdoch. Achievements and responsibilities.
I think so. Father, I praise you today for the privilege of being in your work, being with our family. And Father, I spoke on this subject today because it's so important that when there's miscommunication, missing information, when there's disrespect of responsibilities, friendships become strained and they become conflictive. And Lord, there's people that just want to be combative. They thrive in an environment of combat and conflict and disagreement. And there's no way we can get along with them. But we can diminish and withhold access. We can change their gatekeeping system. And it's important to be adaptive until it destroys who we are. It's important to be adaptive until it destroys who we really are. And I ask you today to give us great wisdom. Father, I ask you for personal wisdom in my own ministry, in my own life. Help me to be willing to walk away from anything that's destroying me, to walk away from anything that's hurting my joy. Because our goal in life is not to get a lot done. Our goal in life is joy. You said in your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Take this teaching today on our Pocket Protege MP3 player for the week that we're giving to everybody who supports our ministry. Father, take the teaching that I've done today and make it a real benefit, make it a blessing. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to keep teaching like this. I don't know, maybe 20 years, maybe 20 days, but I ask you to use the revelations that I'm sharing to protect people's peace. Peace at any cost. You said as much as lieth within you. As much as lieth within you, live peaceably with all men. As much as far as we were capable. Lord, you were perfect on the earth. You did everything exactly right. And there were people that turned on you, hated you. They ended up crucifying you. It seemed like the best people had the deadliest enemies. Lord, I've taught this today for a purpose. The purpose in teaching this today was to help people make adjustments. Sometimes we just need more sleep and we'd be better people. Sometimes we don't need a miracle, we just need more sleep. And we could get along with other people who didn't get their sleep. Helps to understand all the aspects of health, mental health, emotional health. Lord, help us to see the rewards of agreement. Help us to see the rewards of agreement and being agreeable. Also help us to become truthful about the people who just want trouble. They just want trouble. They're not happy unless there's a battle. Or there's people who just seem like they're natural soldiers. they just have a nature for battle. We're not going to change that nature. We're not going to change it. But help us to move away from it and move away from unhappy people. And sometimes our presence brings joy and sometimes it doesn't. When our presence doesn't bring joy, we need to move away from it. I pray today for those who are going through a sorrow in their heart. A sorrow in their heart. They know something's wrong, but don't know quite what to do about it. Show them the way out. Give us a path, Lord. I pray for every pastor today, Lord, who's having a problem with one of his board members. The board member really wants authority. The board member really wants to boss the others. The board member's not there to be a servant. They want to be the ruler. And I know the stress of that for that pastor is horrendous. And instead of looking forward to board members, he's just board meetings. He's dreading it, knowing he has to jump through hoops to try to keep peace. Ask you to give him joy in the places he can find joy. I pray for every preacher today who's seriously considering leaving the ministry because they're just tired of enduring conflict with people. Conflict is exhausting, distracting, destructive. Sometimes there's a talebearer in our environment. There's someone that just talks just to keep conflict going. I've had that kind of person close to me before, Lord. I know how incredibly destructive they are. And sometimes they play an important role. And we don't quite know what to do. So give us wisdom. Give us wisdom today. Some people we won't be able to get along with unless we abandon our position of duty before you. Some people won't be happy until we're gone. Some people won't be happy until they're rulers. They rule us. Some people won't be happy because we love others. Some people won't be happy unless they're our best friend. They can't even enjoy. Father, there's a humility required. Humility is a requirement for get along with people. We've got to recognize who we're not, as well as who they are. And we must recognize our own mistakes, our own limitations. And if we recognize our own limitations, it helps us to endure the limitations of others. Take the message today, Father. Do as you can. I'm here for one purpose. Let's try to help people achieve their goals, their dreams. Try to help them reach what their destination is, their goals are. Help me to do that. Bless our partners today who stand with me, who pray for me. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Lord, I thank you for all my staff and all my team. Thank you for our leader at the Wisdom Center, Pastor Anna. Thank you for bringing her here. Thank you for the team that you put around her to bring her strength, encouragement. Help her to stay focused on her responsibilities. Father, bring her at least 5 men. Men are so important. Men have such a role. And I ask you to bring her 5 men who will take a lot of responsibility off of her, that she can feel at peace. Lord, help her to know what to walk away from and where to invest her energy and her time. Bring people with a servant's heart. Where do you need me? Let's do what's in your heart. Bring these kind of leaders. We pray for Rosa today in California, that great peace would be hers as her sisters in this crisis. Oh, Father, give her and her sons great peace. Keep your hand upon them. Keep your angels around her. Father, we pray for Miss Nina today en route to Peru. Let this month be healthful to her, peaceful to her. Give her the right doctors, the right people around her. Let her be at peace. She's one of the greatest humans we know of in our life. We ask you to keep angels around her today and watch over her, Lord. Watch over her. Pray for Deborah today, Lord, and Flo, my sister that you brought to my life, who really try to take a load off of me. And they really are helping my dream come true. They pour out their whole life. Thank you for their husbands, Father, Robert and Lee. Thank you for their husbands who never fight and battle. They're helping me. Who never show conflict. Who never make my life hard. And let those two husbands be blessed for both of their lives. Pray for John today that you'd finish the healing you started on his body, that his pain would be removed forever. We served you, Father, but to witness we have 150 years of showing honor to you, loving you, singing, worshiping, helping Mother and Daddy. I ask you to bless him today there in Orange, Texas. Let your healing flow through his body. I pray for little kid Honor today, Father, that peace would come to her emotions, peace in her mind. Father, she has fought a battle none of us would want to fight. Oh, Father, keep your hand on her. Bring healing and deliverance from every oppression that comes against her mind, every oppressive spirit, every oppressive thought in her mind. Lord, I pray specifically today for those going through a lot of anxiety, going through panic attacks, anxiety attacks. Those that are waking up in the middle of the night scared of life, not knowing what to do. Let peace come to them, Lord. Bring a new peace. I pray for our widows today, Lord, who feel very lonely and they struggle to try to keep conversation with others. Lord, you put 3 or 4 or 5 people around them today who will love on them, know how to love them, listen to them, be an encouragement to them. Lord, I pray for all of our pastors and preachers today listening to me, that you give them board members who will be servants, carrying, holding up their hand like Aaron and Hur held up the hands of Moses. Father, I know the horror of financial stress. It's devastating emotionally to have to wonder from week to week, will the money be there? Will I be able to pay the bills? Lord, we take authority over every demonic attack against their finances. We pray in the sevenfold return you promised for anything stolen from us. Lord, some are going through legal battles. Some are going through bankruptcies. Some are just, they piled up dead and can't, the unexpected happen. I ask you to rally hope within them. Rally hope within them, Lord. Rally peace within them. Lord, I pray specifically for the love circle around every preacher who struggles to keep a gatekeeping system safe, peaceful, purposeful, to protect the focus of their leader. I ask you to give them strength today. Give them peace today. I know there will be physical attacks by Satan against their own bodies as their pastors or preachers begin to struggle to minister to people. And Lord, you put a love circle around those preachers. Oh, Father, I pray for Prophet Man today in Kenya, wherever he's at. Father, settle his desires. You know what he wants and needs. You know the things he's prayed for. You know his greatest needs. His greatest needs, you know. Father, I pray for Jim Baker today, 80 years old, that you give him great peace. Give him great provision for his incredible ministry around the world. I pray that you give him great strength today. Answers to any problems that may come up in his ministry, his life. I pray for John Hagee from Matthew. Father, I pray for Tommy Barnett today and his son Matt. I pray that you direct their steps and let their decisions be perfect. Give them staffs and people around them, Lord, who know the changes, who adapt to the new changes in their vision. Father, we pray today for the sale of the Wisdom Center, that not only would it sell to the right people at the right price, send us the buyers that need it, but we ask you for our next location as we relocate the Wisdom Center. Give us wisdom in our decisions. Give us favor with whoever we buy the next church or building from. Give us favor. Give us direction. Give us leadership. Father, we pray today for our President Donald Trump. Lord, we've never seen a man so persecuted in our life. It's unreal. And yet he's a man who loves your people, Israel. He loves evangelical preachers. Father, he's got a whole host of the greatest preachers in America around him that he's called. He's asked them to assist him. He's asked them for prayer. He's a man who loves the Bible. He's a man who loves children. He hates abortion. Father, honor him today with the right counsel. Put the voice of Daniels close to President Trump. Lord, let the voice that he hears for record, let the people that's advising him be people of integrity. Hear your voice. And I pray for, Lord, him and Melania's marriage, because it'll come apart with this kind of stress. I ask that you give them both peace. And when lies are told and false accusations are hurled, give them a peace between themselves and their marriage. They're humans like we are. And their load is 10,000 times our own load. Give him peace. Visit him. Holy Spirit, visit our president in the midnight hour while he's trying to make decisions. Father, some of us cannot even hardly keep our closet in order. Some of us cannot even keep all the wash done at the washing machine. And here we have a president that's trying to coordinate between 200 nations and trying to keep America safe and the economy up and trying to provide jobs for people, and in the midst of it being fought by half the people in his Congress that's supposed to be in prayer for him and caring for him. We pray for all those that are enemies of the gospel today. Bring conviction. Bring them to you. And Father, those who insist on destroying Christianity, please remove their voice. Remove them from authority. Father, there is a core group in America who despise the Bible, who hate Christians, who sneer and scornful of preachers. Oh, Father, silence their voice. Silence their voice. Retaliate for us, Lord. We cannot retaliate, but you can protect us. We ask you to do that. I pray for every Christian marriage, Lord, that you'd realize that you would teach us how to care for each other, love each other, invest time in each other. I pray for those, Lord, who are overwhelmed with the burden of their own responsibilities. There are single mothers, listen to me right now, who every day is war. Every day is battle for survival. Father, bring a provider close to them. Bring them a man who will care for them, protect them. Bring them a prosperous man who will help take off some of the financial load on them. I ask you, Father, for those that are battling physical battles and the doctor visits are becoming horrendous, the sorrow that they feel driving to a clinic and driving to a hospital is overpowering them. They feel like they're suffocating. They don't feel like they can live another day. Breathe hope, breathe life, breathe peace into them, Lord. Help them to let go of anything that'll make their load easier. I pray for those that are in the struggle for prosperity. And I pray, Lord, that you give them wisdom in their decisions they're making. That they not try to buy what they can't afford. They not try to buy what they don't have money for. But give them a peace in the small things. Give them a joy. Give them pleasure in the little things. In all of our decision making we're making today, help us to make divine decisions, Lord, that please you, pleasure you. Father, there's a place for us to be, and I pray for those that are like myself. I pray for Matthew Prince today, Lord, that you direct him in the house, or the church of God that he's building, the house of the Lord. Direct him, let him make these good decisions. Give him the right builders in his new church. I pray for all of those, Father, who are trying to build churches and houses for God. Give them wisdom, Lord. Give them favor with builders and contractors. I pray for those who are making geographical moves today, Father. They may be moving to a new city. They may be moving their business to a new place, a new state. Oh, Father, expose any area that's not your will for them. Expose it. Let them know. Let them know what your will, what is, and slow us down. Lord, if we're making the moves too quick, slow us down. Let a great peace come upon us. Help us to taste the rewards of the present. Father, help us to taste those rewards of the present. Help us not to be too swift. Lord, I pray for those who are battling health problems, especially weight problems, and they're trying to lose weight. Lord, that's not easy. That's not easy, and I know that. I ask you to give them new inspiration today, step by step as they move toward health. Give them the courage to picture the future. Give them courage. Give them courage, Lord, to stay focused on their good health. Give them inspiration. Put people around them who will keep them inspired on their eating and their health habits, their health routines. Put encouragers around us, Lord. Lord, we all really need an encouragement circle. It's not enough to have a love circle. We need an encourager circle. We need we need people not just for us to love, but we need encouragers. We need the voice of encouragers around us. Lord, I pray specifically for those today who feel disheartened, discouraged because of something that went wrong. Maybe wrong words were spoken. Maybe there was a misinterpretation of something, or maybe they was accused. But Lord, I know what the battle that is. I know what it is to wake up every day and say, I don't want this kind of life. I don't want my life to go this way. Father, I ask you to bring them new encouragement today, new focus, I ask you for financial wisdom today, Lord, that we'd spend our money wisely, carefully, not just always asking you for more money, but help us to spend the money that you've given us really, really wisely. Help us to be careful. Help us to be sensitive in the way we spend our money. Help us to slow it down. Help us to invest wisely in everything that we invest in. And stop anything that's not your plan. Lord, stop it. Just close the door. Let the favor stop if something's not your will. We need peace. We really need peace today. And I praise you for that. I praise you for that. Amen. Amen. Love you, Pastor Anna. Thank God for you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murdoch. We love you too. This was amazing. Thank you for investing this time in our love circle.
I think this session's a real important part of the Pocket Protege we're sending out. For you that are first timers, we have a real special gift of appreciation. It's a major investment. We think that every word that we speak from Sunday through Saturday, Pastor Ann and myself, all the teaching that we do together or apart, we put it on a MP3 player, an audio player that you can hold in your hand. And it's our gift to those who sow a seed of $100 or more into our ministry. And it has a special number, and she will give that to you. And thank you for praying for me. It's a real important part of my world. Amen.
We love you so much, Dr. Murdoch, and we stand with you every step of the way.
Thank you, Pastor Anna.
Dear family, like Dr. Murdoch said, lately every teaching I've been saying, this is the teaching. And I feel that way today. Wow, this teaching on getting along with people is incredible. And Dr. Murdoch gave us a lot of information in 2 hours. And this is a teaching that we need to listen to over and over and over again. I don't think that we are able to catch everything in one time that we listen, especially today's. So I hope that you are considering requesting your Pocket Protege. It's on the screen. This week's Pocket Protege is number 22, and the date on it is 1/25/20. Every teaching from Sunday till Saturday, every single teaching from Sunday till Saturday will be in this Pocket Protege, number 22. And this is the gift of the week for those of you that are sowing $100 or more. For those of you that would like to become monthly partners of the ministry, we have this amazing gift of appreciation to say thank you. Many of you are planning to try to sow a consistent seed every month from the next 12 months. And we have several projects. We have the Jerusalem Project, which with your seed of $122 every month, and Dr. Todd Kuntz is a partner in that project that is so important to us, because when you fight for Israel, God will fight for you. And when you sow your monthly seed of $122, you are helping us continue preaching the gospel in Jerusalem through radio. Dr. Murdoch is preaching there every week through radio, through the Jerusalem Project. So any of those projects, like World Children 31, which helps us feed hundreds of children every single week in Mexico, and if you would like to sow a seed into those projects every month, and you say, I want to try that, I want to become a monthly partner, and we can set it up for you. You can sow your seed every month. And the harvest that I love about that is that a consistent seed will create a consistent harvest. When you sow consistently, you receive consistently. And this gift is for those of you sowing your monthly seed, the Wisdom Bible. For those of you who are sowing your $200 seed, we have this tablet that is called the Millionaire's Tablet that has 73 of Dr. Murdoch's books downloaded for you. The topics that he picked are especially for those that are really serious about your prosperity, your dreams, your goals. And these books will help you. We have many people that come to the bookstore and they don't know where to start. Dr. Murdoch has more than 1,800 books already written, almost 700, I believe, printed. So it's hard sometimes to pick the topics, but Dr. Murdoch did that for us in this tablet already. For those of you sowing your $300 seed, we will send you the Millionaire's Bible, a gift that Dr. Murdoch put together for those of you that are serious about prosperity. And we have so many pastors around the world commenting that this has been the best they've ever seen on the topic of finances. For those of you sowing your $500 seed, we will send you the lifetime library of Dr. Murdoch with 500 of his books already downloaded for you. And for those of you sowing your $1,000 seed, and we do pray every week for 12 that will sow a $1,000 seed into the ministry. And if God is putting that in your heart and you have a fire in your spirit, moving you to sow the $1,000 seed for the first time, many of you have done it several times. But as the Lord speaks to you, just know that we have these gifts on the screen for you, the 2 tablets, the Millionaire's Bible, and the Financial Freedom Bible of Dr. Morris Cerullo. Please note the 5 easy ways to sow. You can sow through Cash App, PayPal, phone texting, the phone number on the screen, and the website. Cash App is the easiest way to sow if you want Dr. Murdoch to reply directly. And we love using Cash App. You can sow directly to Dr. Murdoch or to the ministry. If you are around the world outside of the United States, we recommend PayPal and the website. You have PayPal for Dr. Murdoch, which is Dr. Mike Murdoch 1, or PayPal for the ministry, live@CBP. If you would like to use phone texting, it only works here in the U.S. You can sow to Dr. Murdoch by sending the text DRMM and the amount that you want to sow to the number 28950. It's a 2-minute setup, and once you set it up, it takes seconds to sow as the Lord leads you. If you would like to call and sow your seed, please do so, 844-789-SEED. And you can please let our team know that you are wanting your gift, if you're sowing your $100 seed or more, of your MP3 player number 22. You can also, of course, use the website. And this is the perfect way because we do it through PayPal, and you will have a lot of information in our website that you cannot miss. Go to the wisdomcenter.tv button 8 to sow your seed. Please email Dr. Murdoch, Dr. Mike at thewisdomcenter.tv, or you can also send him a letter. You could tell by his reaction to Mr. Baruch Vera from Mexico, Chihuahua, Mexico, that he loves to send you letters and he loves to receive your letters. That's huge to him. So please continue to write P.O. Box 37079, Fort Worth, Texas 76117. It means the world that you are a part of this love circle. We don't take these moments lightly with you. We celebrate every country here represented. And I hope that you can be back tonight at 6 o'clock. Every day, 12 and 6 o'clock. We're live from here to your home, to your life. You're precious to us. There's a closing prayer that I'd like to declare over your life, and we'll be back in less than 4 hours. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. We love you, family. We'll talk to you in a little bit later. God bless you, and thank you for being with us.